Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of the series of telling my side of the story. For those of you who are new, excuse me as I eat my tuna. Those of you that are new, the last 2 years I have been suffering from an extreme smear campaign, making my ex-wife making claims like I beat her up until she had a miscarriage, or slapped her, or kicked her out on the street, and she was after having given birth to our second child. Let's see, what else? The list goes on and on and on. She's very effectively ran the smear campaign to tarnish my reputation, my name, and as a result, I have been harassed. There's now about 90 bloggers harassing me. And that makes it their life's daily duty in which they make money, because there's so many people that believe the lies, to perpetuate and do their best to destroy my life. So we're going to talk about, what I'm doing is I'm doing a multiple part series. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get through. There's a lot of stuff to get through because what is occurring is an injustice to humanity. It's an injustice to men everywhere. And it's an injustice to women. Because when a woman claims domestic violence, abuse, and it didn't occur, and it's obvious that it didn't occur, and you're caught in lies that it didn't occur, it makes women that actually are experiencing domestic violence afraid to come forward. So I personally think it should be prison time for men or women that come out publicly in an effort to get rich and famous. It should be prison time. But is it such as it is? The only thing I have left is to sue for defamation, and everything I'm going to say, they could try to sue me for defamation, but it's 100% fact, backed up by facts, and in a defamation trial, the person saying it, which is me, I have to be able to prove, it's up to the person saying things to prove what they're saying is true, which I will say everything I will say is objectively true, and can be backed up with text messages, videos, the works. So I have no problem saying this stuff in a public eye, because it's the truth, and I can back it 100% up. For those of you on here not wanting to hear it, I don't care. If you don't want to hear it, go somewhere else. If you want to just go and perpetuate lies that is very destructive, then go be your toxic self somewhere else. My page does not support harassment. My page does not support violence. My page does not support cyberbullying. And cyberbullying is not a victimless crime. If I was a weaker man, I would have taken my own life right now, before this, but I'm not a weak man. And I'm standing up for men everywhere, because what is occurring is a complete crime against humanity. And most especially myself and my children. No evidence? Oh, I'm going to be giving you guys evidence. This is just part 3 of backstories. You guys are going to be seeing some evidence. It's going to make you shake in your boots. Some serious evidence. And that's where we're going with this. Okay? So, and most importantly, the judge already saw the evidence and threw the case out. But yet, the same lies told to a judge that I was able to prove were lies are being perpetuated on social media. If you guys don't trust me, trust a judge. A judge threw it out. And yet, these lies are being perpetuated throughout social media forever. So anyways, we're going to talk about the love bombing phase of my relationship. And that was China. So I was recruited to China to work at the Olympic Training Center in Shanghai because I'm awesome and I'm good at my job. And I've invented a few techniques, and I used to travel around teaching other doctors how to do what I do. Okay, so that's kind of the long story short. I was in China for about 2 months. Oh, China was interesting. I got there. I was a small town kid moving to Portland, Oregon, which is about 1 million people, from my roughly 10,000 population town. Was a big jump. That was a big jump. But moving to China was like next level. So naturally, the first month there, I was just in like awe. The athletes barely spoke English. The cultural differences. Living in China was crazy. But while I was there, I only worked about 3 or 4 hours a day, and it was right in the middle of the day. So I had plenty of time to go out, experience the nightlife, go explore. I had a lot of time to myself. So naturally, I got on Tinder, partially for dating and partially for it was a place that everyone was guaranteed to speak English. So I and that's where I met my group of friends. I was hanging out with about a group of people, about 10 people, prior to meeting my ex. 8 out of 10 of them were girls, and we would just go out and explore different bars and different scenes, and we would just all have fun together. It was a great time. One of the girls was actually a Nigerian girl, and she spoke fluent Mandarin, so it was very helpful to have somebody speaking fluent Mandarin. So anyway, I met Korra on a Sunday night, and there was an instant attraction between us. I would say from the time, I'm going to keep this kind of short because we guys want to get into the juicy details of how she's lying. But the backstory is important because we're talking about a love bombing. During the time in China, we instantly hit it off, and I would say from about day 5 of us knowing each other, we were inseparable. Every single day, I would either take the train down to Jing'an or wherever the hell I forgot the name of the town she was in, but it was about an hour and a half train ride away. So either she would come up or I would come down, and we just spent every day together. We went out partying. We had so much fun. It was like so much fun. And about 3 months in, it was like, this is like something, this is like something. This is more than just a China fling. So we started talking about life goals. We started talking about what she wanted to do. We started talking about why she was in China in the first place. And essentially she was in China because she released an AP. She had sound salted on it. And it was an epic failure. She spent all her money on it, and it just didn't do what she wanted to do, which is music, which is the music industry. Sometimes you got to put stuff out there, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. So she was in China teaching English. I will say, when I first met her, she told me she was from Salt Lake City. She tried to lie to me and tell me she was an American. And I asked her if she was a Mormon. And she said, "What's that?" And I instantly knew she wasn't from Salt Lake City. Because if you're in Salt Lake City, you know what a Mormon is, because it's the Mormon capital of the world. So then she went into an explanation of, the schools here want to hire people with an American accent. I have an American accent, but the school actually thinks I'm American from Salt Lake City. So she actually forged her paperwork with the Chinese government to or at least with the school, to convince them that she was from Salt Lake City, an American, not a Nigerian. And this is some kind of scam they were running. But hey, everyone's got their hustle. I don't care. It's maybe I should have saw that as a red flag. But hey, I didn't know anything about Nigeria. I know times are tough there for some people, and it was an opportunity for her to get out and explore. So hey, more power to you. I wasn't judging, but maybe I should have saw that as a red flag. At least a yellow flag, but I'm so open-minded. I was just I would never do that, but hey, if it gets you out of your country and propels your life. So when I had met her, she had given up on music. It wasn't making money. She was unhappy. and she wanted to do something that was more profitable, and then maybe go back to music afterwards. But she was really in China. She was planning on being in China for 3 or 4 years and save up a bunch of money and buy a house back in Lagos. That was always her goal. And I asked her, I was like, well, will that make you happy? Is music really what you want to pursue? Or do you just want to buy a house and be a homeowner and that's going to... And she's like, no, I want to pursue music. And I was like, well, do it. I support it. You know, at that point in my life, I had already achieved every dream that I had set forth, and I was trying to figure out what was next. Like, you know, I was already in China at a high level, 28 years old, working at the highest level of job that you could possibly do as a sports medicine person, you know, a provider, doctor. So I was like, I'm living my dream right now. This is great. Like, you should experience it as well. And, you know, and after being at the club with her plenty of times, I knew she was a great dancer. She had great stage performance. Her singing needed some work, but she had something there. I mean, with auto-tune these days, you don't really need to be able to sing. Let's just be honest. You just got to be okay. The stage stage presence and performance factor is way more important. When she has that, I will not take that away from her. She's a great performer, and she has the stage presence, and she can captivate a crowd, which is what she used in an evil way to harass me. So, about 3 months in, I was like, I'm in love with this girl. Like, head over heels, absolutely just stone cold in love with her. And so over the next month or two, we were really talking about, like, maybe, like, I think you're my soulmate kind of thing. Like, I think you're my girl and I'm your guy, and this seems perfect. And it was perfect at the time. I can honestly tell you that my time in China with her, still to this day, is the happiest year of my life. I was in a foreign country, a beautiful Nigerian girl. We were just having so much fun. My responsibilities at work were really light, and it was really easy. And I just was like basically on spring break for a year. And after spending from 19 to 28 building myself up, it was kind of like a great, because I was starting to get burnt out because I was doing too much, because I was traveling, taking seminars, I was all over the country teaching, and I was just I was like, I kind of needed a break to decompress, and China kind of served that for me. So, I'm not going to give exact months, because it's like, I mean, somebody will like look it up and be like, it was June, not April, whatever. And but no, it was great. It was really great. I don't want to ever lie. I don't want to ever tell a non-truth. It was by far the best time of my life. And I got in my head, I was like, I think I'm going to marry this girl. This is like after dating for like 5 or 6 months. And she was all about it. So we were talking about marriage and what that would look like, and I told her, I was like, look, you have to pursue your dream. You have to, like, you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life if you just don't pursue this, if you don't give it your all, and if you fail, then you failed trying your best. You don't just give up. And she was all about it. So what we did for about a month was I was like, let's go out, let's make content. So we went out into the China streets, and many of you guys that have been following us for a long time, I was filming it, I was editing it. I have video editing experience from high school, several years of it, so I was able to like videotape it, and then I could like, what you do is you speed up micro movements, so I could make her hips pop more, her arms move more, where it looked like she was moving faster than she was, but it also still looked natural. So it was more appealing to the eye. It was more of a pop, 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 pop. And social media is all about keeping people's attention for longer than 3 seconds. So we'd always put something like a hip jerk or something in the first 3 seconds to like make it stick. So people were like, "Whoa, what was that?" Kind of subconscious, like that looked different and crazy. And this was going on for about a month, but we weren't able to make that much content consistently because she was working teaching English, and she couldn't quit her job because she owed her brother-in-law's brother, Chris, I believe. Yes, Chris. She had to pay him $500 a month out of the $2,000 to because that was part of the deal. He brought her there, did all the scamming. I'm from Salt Lake City, scam, whatever, and she had to pay him $500 a month for that. So this is me being a logical businessman, which I am. I was like, okay, so this is your goal. I was making $10,000 a month tax-free money from the Chinese government, which my apartment was like $800 a month, and then we just spent the rest on partying and having fun. So I got the bright idea. I was like, man, you should just quit your job. You're going to move back with me to the States anyways. I was like, if you're going to move to the States, we got to move to LA. That's where the music scene's at. Mind you, I was not going to move to LA. I'm in this city for her music career. I sacrificed my being away from my family, everything I knew, to move to LA, which we'll talk about in another video because that was a very depressing time. And I was like, we're just going to get married, and you're going to move to. Let's focus on this time in China, building content and building your followers, building up your brand. And she's like, well, I can't really do that because I need to pay Chris, I don't really care, $500 a month, and I still have 7 months on my contract. And I was like, screw it, I'll pay him off. And then you and I can make content every single day, and we can pump out 5-6 times the content. We can make multiple contents a day. We can do one in the morning, one in the evening, and you can just start pumping it out. Now, mind you, when I met her, she only had 43,000 followers on Instagram and none anywhere else. And she had most of her followers from one viral video of her beating on drums and stuff like that. So, and she was like, okay. So I paid off Chris. I think it was like, I don't know what it was. It was like $4,000 or something like that. Which for me, money's always, I have an abundance mindset. So I was like, I'll just make more, whatever. This in the long term is going to be better. And so we did that. She quit her job. She moved in with me, got rid of her apartment, got rid of her expenses, and she moved in with me in my penthouse loft apartment in downtown Shanghai by the Jing'an Temple. And indeed, we did that. We made content twice a day, and it was starting to gather steam. I think over about the next 4 or 5 months, she probably built about 60, 70,000 followers. People really liked the story, and I was coaching her on branding this. I was like, we got to make this sticky. We got to make this stick in people's minds. If you guys haven't read this book, How to Make Things Sticky, I think that's the title of it. I haven't read it in a while. It's a great book if you guys are in the branding space, like names and that kind of stuff. Like, what do you call your businesses? You got to make things sticky. So, yeah. So that's essentially most of it. There wasn't. I mean, China was like an extremely amazing time. The only bad thing that ever happened is I got roofied. I blacked out. I don't remember it. Apparently I was acting all kinds of crazy. I don't remember it. I remember waking up in the morning. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been roofied, but I remember waking up in the morning and being like, where am I? And I went downstairs to go to urinate, and my urine reeked so heavily of like a pine sol ammonia smell that my ex could smell it like on the other side of the room. It was like pungent, And then I like passed out and dropped in glass. That was the only negative thing that happened in China. Besides dealing with sometimes the police were kind of weird about you filming. So if we were going to film on the Bund, we sometimes had to get up at like 6 a.m. before the police got there because you're not allowed to film. But I'm like, we're going to do it anyways, you know. So that was the time in China. That was most of it. It was very amazing. She was very respectful to me. She made me seem like the most important man in the world. And that was what I learned later, because I wasn't familiar with things. That was called the love bombing phase. That was the love bombing phase of making me feel extra special. And yeah. So why am I telling this story, somebody may ask? Because I'm being harassed on social media for crimes I did not commit. And they're being perpetuated, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I've kept my silence because I don't want to be involved in this. I'm trying to do educational content. I'm trying to spread happiness and joy, and this stuff just won't go away. And it's just getting more and more profitable for these bloggers to just come on here and destroy me every single day, because for 2 years I've been harassed. There's been all these false allegations, and it's really built an economy on this Facebook around let's destroy this white man, because it is all African bloggers, and they're mad at me for leaving my ex-wife 10 days after she gave birth to our second child, which there's a reason for that, and I will explain that in another video when we get there. But I'm going story from start to finish so that people can understand how relationships go toxic, how relationships go sour, how we got to this place. People often ask me, well, you don't appreciate her hypersexualized behavior, twerking on your daughter's head, being like just over the top. You guys need to understand, she wasn't like that before I married her. In fact, when I met her, she wouldn't even twerk on camera because she thought it was disrespectful. And what I always said was, it's not twerking, it's how you twerk. It's the presentation of it. If you're doing it in an artistic, classy way, that's different than being trashy. And prior to us ever getting married, I sat down and I had a very serious discussion with her. I said, I can support you on social media and I will continue to help you, but it has to be classy. Sexy and classy is fine. Trashy is not. I said, I'm a doctor. I'm a respected healthcare provider. I cannot be associated with trashy. So if you want to take your brand that direction and you want to start doing crazy stuff, like, I don't want to be a part of that because that's not a good representation of me. If you want to be classy and you want to express art with your body by moving in a sexy way, I support it. But moving trashy, like you're trying to objectify the human figure and sell it for sex, I am morally and ethically against. And she's like, no problem. My father would kill me. I would never, ever start being trashy. And she was really worried about her father the first time she did I would say, classy twerking video that I thought was completely fine, not untasteful. She was so worried about what her father would think. And I was like, look, this is up to you. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with doing this as long as it's all about the presentation. It's all about how it's received. If you are looking like you're selling sex, nobody's going to respect you. And I don't want to be associated with that. But if you do it in a tasteful manner, as you said, this is part of your culture, and I'm going to marry into your culture, so I'm going to respect your culture. Okay? Am I still in love with Korra? No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. No. Do I want to co-parent in peace with her? Yes. Am I trying to take the kids from her? No. These are all lies perpetuated by her. It might get to that point if this doesn't stop, because the toxic environment needs to stop for the health of the girls. And I never wanted to discuss this publicly because my daughters will watch it someday. But it's got to the point where I'm not teaching them valuable life lessons if you don't stand up to bullies. And right now the bully is their mother. Their mother is the bully. The mother is actively trying to destroy their father. And it's not okay. I wish her the best. The better she does, the better the kids do. The better I do, the better the kids do. So the very idea that I'm fighting with her, that I'm trying to somehow destroy her, is complete nonsense. It doesn't represent what's in my mind. It doesn't represent what's in my heart. I wish her the best. If she wants to succeed, and if she succeeds at the highest level, I'm happy for her. I just want her to stop using me and the kids in a negative fashion as the catalyst to build it. I did start it, and we will go into why. Okay? But this is the end of the positive side of this story. From here on out, it's gonna be negative. Negative. And my mom wants to speak. Because my mom heard it on the phone, my mom saw it in person. It was downright the worst situation you can imagine. So, from here on out, those of you that like drama, that's where it's going. I hate drama. The very fact that I'm in the center of this, and there's so much drama being directed toward me, there's so much lies, it is exhausting. Okay? Somebody's calling me racist. I'm definitely not racist. I'm actually only attracted mostly to black women. My kids are half Nigerian. Many of my friends are Nigerian. Many of my friends are black. Many of my friends are white. I don't see people by the color of their skin. I see people by their behavior and who they are as a human. And I've said this many times before. I love Nigerians. I love the culture. I feel like I'm part of the culture in a way. But some of y'all toxic. Some of you guys all are very much perpetuating hate on the internet, and you're embarrassing yourselves for the rest of the world, which in turn is going to negatively affect my daughters as they grow up, because they have all you toxic people on here spreading hate. Like, that's embarrassing. You should be embarrassed for yourselves. I mean, there is a stigma in the world of Nigerian scammer, and this situation is a Nigerian scammer. She is scamming you all by lying to you and then seeking pity and asking for stars, and you guys all fall for it. Which, I get it, because if she was truly a victim of domestic violence, it makes sense. Go support her. But she's been caught in her own lies so many damn times, and you guys are still supporting her. And I want you to support her, but I don't want you to support lies, especially lies that destroy, that negatively affect the kid's father. This is what's wrong with society. And I'm standing up for men everywhere, telling my story, because, not because I want to, but because I have to. Because when you have 80 bloggers destroying your reputation on the internet based on lies, like, I don't even have to show evidence, my own evidence outside of social media. Her own words on social media has proven her to be a liar. And many of you that can spell or have higher than a 6th grade IQ see it. And that's why so many people follow me. Because they can see a person being harassed, they can see the lies, and people that have a soul or empathy or any sort of common sense are like, this is not right. If you guys love her, go love her. You guys are, this is not a competition. This is not a competition. The only person I'm competing with is myself. I'm not competing with her. I want her to go support her. The point is, leave me the fuck alone. You get it? Like, go support her. Never once have I ever said, you never heard me say report her page. You never said me go harass her. I have consistently, over the years, say, go support her. Stop harassing me. You know, there's something really wrong with society when a man's saying, go support her, leave me alone, and y'all on here saying I'm jealous. What's there to be jealous of? I'm in a completely different field. My value as a human is not based on the amount of views, likes, and followers I have. I don't care. That's not where I get my value from. Like, value for me is how many people I positively impact and a positive value I make on the world. That is how I measure my own value. So I'm not competing in likes, views, or anything else, because that's petty, childish bullshit. It's painful to see. So let's think about this. If I actually wanted her to do poorly, what happens? How does that benefit my life whatsoever? If she doesn't make money, I'm going to have to give her money. If I don't make money, which is what she's trying to do, which is trying to destroy my life, she's going to have to pay me money. So how is trying to tear each other down helping anyone? Everyone loses. That's how it works. If I lost my job and I couldn't work, she has to pay me child support. If her page was deleted tomorrow, I'd be paying her child support. That's how it works in America. So the whole idea that I'm trying to tear someone down doesn't make any sense, because at the end of the day, if that happens, I'm the one that has to pay for it. Do you guys not understand how America works? Obviously you don't. That's how it works. If you have a parent that's supporting the children and they don't have an income, the parent that does have the income has to pay the other parent. If you guys don't understand that, read a book. You get on YouTube, look at how child support works in this country. You guys are perpetuating nonsense based on stuff you don't know about. And honestly, many of these people on here perpetuating hate, you guys were obviously hurt by a man in the past, and you're projecting your hate upon me. I'm not the man that hurts you. You don't know me. You've never met me in person. You've never had an interaction with me other than through a phone screen. Like, guys, get therapy. If some man hurts you, whether it was your father, brother, boyfriend, husband, that's not me. Stop blaming all men for the man that hurts you. Get some help. You've never heard her lie. Well, you're about to hear a whole bunch of lies. You're going to hear the words that she said, and then you're going to hear the words she said again in a different way that contradicts the other one. You're going to hear a lot of lies. The lies are going to be overwhelming. They are a lot. And they're not just about me. They're about other people too. I'm not the only person that I'm not the only person whose business she's destroyed. She destroyed that American chef. That woman came online crying because she sent her army of attack fans to destroy her business because she thought she hacked her page. 15 years that woman worked on that business, and you guys went and destroyed a life's work because someone told you to, and you felt good about it. You went on that page and called that woman racist. You went on that page and said horrible things. That shit made me cry because I know what it feels like. I saw her pain. And you Nigerians on here, and it's mostly Nigerians, you guys going out there and attacking people's livelihoods? How would you feel that happened to you? How would you feel if you had a stand in a market and somebody came and burned it down just because somebody told you to? Or somebody told someone to do it? How would you feel? So, get ready for part 4 after this. I'm not done. This is going to take some time because I'm going to tell the complete story, including chastising and bashing myself. Because the only way you can truly tell a story is to be honest about your mistakes, the things you've done wrong, the things you've done right, and both sides. All right? This isn't over. I'm going to continue on. They're going to and now comes the nasty stuff. This is when it starts to get nasty. So tune in. I'll catch you guys all later. Those of you guys still commenting, jealous, blah blah blah. You guys aren't listening. You're just perpetuating your very toxic mindset onto the internet because you want to reinforce your own belief system rather than integrate a new belief system. And if that's the way you are, you're never going to grow. You're never going to propel yourself forward. You're never going to get anywhere. You're going to be focusing all your energy on spewing hate on the internet when you could be building something. You guys notice I haven't been on social media that much? You guys notice that? I'm building. I'm working. So I come on here to create content, and then I ignore social media altogether because I'm doing other things. It's called time management. If you're on here going from blogger to blogger, commenting this, Justin did this, Justin did that, you're wasting your life away by spewing hate into the world. And what you spew into the world is what you're going to get back. So, again, I'm going to reiterate. I'm telling this story as an attempt to stop all the drama, the saga on social media, to clear my name and reputation. This page does not support harassment. Do not go harass people. This page does not support violence. And when I'm done telling this story, I will never speak of it again. Because I need this chapter of my life closed. I need it behind me. And again, if my ex comes out right now and says she's sorry I lied about the horrible things that I said about you, that she knows are lies, then I will stop this video series right now. But we both know she won't do that. It doesn't matter what say, it doesn't matter what proof I provide. She will spin it to whatever way because there's no accountability. It's always everyone else's fault. And we're going to use that examples from her book. Why did I send that woman to kill your baby mama? See, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. This smear campaign has been so in-depth and so thorough that people would think that I would commit a crime so heinous when all I desire in my life is peace. All I desire in my life is peace. I desire to co-parent in peace. I desire to raise my daughters in peace. And my ex-wife and the bloggers are making it impossible. It needs to stop now. I am taking legal action. There are lawsuits in the works. It's time for that. I'm going to explain later in another video why it took so long, but it is now the time. Basically, I couldn't do anything before, and I'll explain why later. So anyways, Catch you all later. Keep it classy. Don't go harass people. I'm not about it. I don't need you guys defending me, because I'm about to defend myself. It's time to drop the mic. Catch you later.